Hello, everybody. Happy lunchtime. I understand that I'm probably standing in your way of getting a good meal, so I apologize. But thank you for also joining. And my name's Alvin. I'm going to be talking about the role of social media in the consumer journey, just so I know who kind of uses social media here for e-commerce. At the moment, show of hands. Oh, the majority of you. Okay. And who's thinking about doing it, in the future in terms of looking to move to online shopping and social media and e-commerce? Anyone? Okay, great. Okay, so hopefully there'll be some value in here that you can kind of pick up and take with you from today. Can everyone hear me? Perfect, great. So what I'll be talking about are three different areas. So we'll be looking at social commerce, social listening, and customer journey. Now, when you look at that on its own, you think they're very three different things, and they might not necessarily correlate to one another. But in actual fact, these do overlap. Whether it's a little bit or a lot, there is a lot of connection and correlation between the three. So we'll go through these three as in detail as possible, but not too much to blow your minds, even though it would be nice. So who am I? I am Alvin, and not the Chipmunks, and not related before anyone asks or sings the song. I've been doing social media marketing for 12 years, and that's been across a different range of industries, businesses. I run 2 businesses as it is. I also am a social media lead for a fintech here in London, and I also offer strategy consulting and training, and I actually live in sunny Dorset. Anyone from Dorset? Bournemouth, Poole? Great, nobody. So, social commerce. What is social commerce? So, in its entirety, it's the process of selling a product or service on a social media platform, whether it be Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, you name it. And the idea of social commerce is how we can turn those interactions into transactions. So that's always the end goal, if you like, for social commerce. And just to give you an idea of how big that social... by the way, I couldn't have any gifts, so I've gone for memes. I'm trying to bring back the meme culture. I think that'll show my age. But yeah, don't get rid of the memes. They're great. Social commerce, at the end of this year, we're looking to hit around, globally, $1.3 billion in how much is spent. And that's, when you think about it, that's how much money is being spent through social media for purchasing a product or service. $1.3 billion, okay? And actually, by the end of 2026, based on current trends, they're expecting it to hit $3 trillion, on social media apps. That's buying through Instagram, buying through TikTok, through Facebook, through Snapchat. Whatever it is, that's through social media, not through a website, not through any other platform, not offline, just specifically through social commerce. And actually, when we did some research to find out, this is based on, I think, 16 to 64-year-olds, the main reasons why they were using social media. And actually, it was interesting to find out that actually 28% indicated that it was to find inspirations for things to do or buy. And even 23% of them mainly use social media to see content posted by their favorite brands. So even when they're not shopping, and I'm sure everyone in here can relate, it's that kind of subliminal insertion, if you like, of seeing a product or your brand without you even realizing it. And actually, half the population in the world are on social media. So your market are there, maybe you just don't know they're there, or you're not doing it as succinctly as you'd like. So something to bear in mind. I'm going to take you through an example here of what a shopping experience might look like on Instagram, for example. So this is a jewelry brand, and what they've done is they set up their catalog or their shop, and they'll have their products there for a user to peruse, to see what they like, and they might not purchase on the first visit, they may not even do anything, but they know that that option is there, okay? So if you have a product or service that you can easily transact, and you are on Instagram, set up a shop. If you're not doing that already, that's one action you should do off the back of here, is go and set up your catalog, set up your shop, so people can see your products, so they don't have to navigate somewhere else. You don't have to take them off the platform. With social media channels, they make money by us staying within the platform itself. So they'll do whatever it is to help us as brands, as businesses, to keep people in the app. So they're there to help us because it's, circle of life. The longer consumers are there, the more we spend, the happier the social channels are. Okay, full circle. So they don't want you sending people off-site. They will the algorithm will always not prioritize that. So if you've got a landing page or you want people to go to a specific website, they won't promote that. What they will promote, what you can see in this example, is if it is a checkout or a landing page that is on your site, the browser will open in-app. Yeah? So it won't be a new tab, it won't be a new window that will take users somewhere else. So in this example, they're looking at jewelry, they see what they might like, and then they can actually click through to see, right, view on site. And actually, what's really good, when you think about it, that currently doesn't exist, is the bookmark icon. So when I think about it, if I'm on like Currys, and I'm shopping for a TV, and I have to save something I like, or a couple of items, I have to log in. That's another barrier. You want to try and make this as seamless as possible. Here, all they have to do is bookmark it, like you do currently on Instagram. You save your post. That's amazing for products, because you know you bookmark it, so you think, oh, what was that thing I was looking at? Bam, it's right there in your profile. And it might not be the case that you've seen the brand that makes you think about that product. It's a case of you've seen something else, or you want to go back to your bookmarks to see what you've saved, and the product is there. Whereas now, if you save something on a website, you have to log in, you have to register. The chances of you going back to that site are highly unlikely. And you know, when you're thinking about your consumer mindset, the less barriers to this kind of environment, the better. So they've got this save option, which is brilliant. And then in this example, they have to, if they want to complete, they'll click on View Website, just double check all the details, Apple Pay, most likely, or credit card details. Bam, they've transacted, they've done their option. So not too bad in terms of barriers and being able to run through that process from social media feed through to catalog, through to purchasing and or choosing your size to then checking out. But for me, it's not seamless enough, okay? So, and that's no fault of our own, that's the channel and how the channel has been built. So if you are on Instagram, it's, you know, it's still great, but there's one better. TikTok, hands up if you're on TikTok as a business or brand. Okay, I would advocate everyone here goes, I don't work for TikTok and they're not paying me, but I would get on TikTok as fast as you can. And if you think it's not for you, it is for you. It's just that there's first mover advantage and you've just not seen your competitors on it, doesn't mean you don't need to be on it. It's the fastest growing social media channel in comparison to Facebook, to Twitter, to Instagram, for now anyway. So I would advocate that you get on there and you start making content or repurposing whatever you're doing elsewhere on there right now. So another action for you guys, start TikTok channel. Here's an example that I actually got targeted with. I don't know why, because I sleep like a baby. Just kidding, my baby keeps me up. And it's for a pillow company, memory foam pillows. And this is, if you use TikTok, it's seamless. Like you just scroll, and this is a video ad that will just appear like any other piece of content. The only difference is it will say ad, just in the bottom corner there, just so you are aware as part of kind of advertising standards. And what TikTok have done is they've taken it one step further. They'll then kind of transition to this second screen here where they show you the product that the gentleman's actually talking about. They'll put a price point, and then even if you watch this for about 1.5 seconds or less, the algorithm knows that you're interested in this product. So it will resurface it again. So again, if you think about your product or service, if someone just watches it a little bit, you can rely on the fact that if that person watched it for a certain duration of time, they'll re-show them this video or any other form of content that you've posted on the platform. So they've seen the product, they've seen the price point, they think, right, step further, let's find out a bit more about it. Can you guys see, by the way? I'm very conscious that my big forehead's in the way. I'll come over this side. £75, they've seen the price point. So then they'll then go, right, I want to know a bit more, I want to see if there's any reviews, and if it's good, if it's bad. And within TikTok here, you have the option to then go through the reviews, see what it's like, see whether it's good, see whether it's bad. And one thing you'll learn about TikTok is the community. People rely heavily on community and what people are saying. So if you are already there and you have an established presence, you want to make sure your product's good, you have the right service levels, so people are talking on your behalf. You know, that's a very powerful factor for any brand. So then what you can do is add to cart, buy now, and then actually you've got even Klarna, buy now, pay later, and also Apple Pay. And then you can just pay, done. It has my address further up, you can send the Christmas cards later. And I've cropped that out. But as soon as you've done that, it's done. You've bought the product. You haven't navigated anywhere else, unlike the previous example here, which is taking you to a website, which if your website isn't optimized, that's not going to load quick enough. And we know what current generations are like. It's immediacy. We live in a time of immediacy. We want it now. We want it yesterday. We want it right this minute. If that doesn't load quick enough, they may jump. You've lost them. Whereas in this instance, there's nothing to load. It's just a natural transition, again, seamless transition into being able to see the product, understand a bit more about it, make that decision, add to cart, buy now, checkout, delivered, all within one app, one session, if you like. Does that make sense? So you can see the difference and why I'd say if you have a product or service to sell, TikTok would be better than Instagram, just based on this customer journey. Like I said, less barriers, the better. So I would advocate that, and then you can obviously change the information, and you can have different products on there, and you have the option to even chat. So if people want to ask questions about, is this the right product for me? If not, why not? Whereas here, there isn't as many options to ask those questions. So quite two stark options here for you, comparisons, but hopefully makes a bit of sense of just how that kind of social commerce world works and how you can kind of go away and start utilizing these. And actually, once you set it up, again, TikTok only want to help you, for example. They'll have a lot of features, a lot of support that you can go in. That's all free, so you can make this the best possible experience for your consumers. Why? Because they want you to spend more money on ads, and they want your consumers to have the best experience, so you can spend more money on ads. And while we're talking about ads, TikTok is a great place for current rate on return, just because of the nature of the users and the way the platform's performing. So actually, if you are thinking, where should I spend my money, allocate a higher proportion to TikTok to start off with to see how you fare. So, social listening. Hands up if you're anyone doing social listening. Why? Why not? Everyone should put their hands up. How do you know what your customers are doing? How do you know what your competitors are doing? Social listening, in its essence, is monitoring your brand, your competitors, across the internet, essentially, any digital touch points where there's an open forum, so where anyone could talk without a paywall, without logging in necessarily, or open API if you like. It's where people can pick up conversations and learn more. And ideally, what you want to do with social listening data and the insights is turn it into actionable initiatives that drive meaningful improvements. Buzzword bingo. And actually, 92% of business leaders agree that the social insights that you can derive from social listening can provide a positive impact and provide a competitive edge as well. And social listening, like I said, can do a plethora of different things. You can find out your industry trends, you can find out what customers are saying, you can do crisis comms, sentiment analysis, are people talking positively about you, negatively, neutrally. You can see what influencers are doing, how influencers are talking about your brand as well. So it really is a good skill or something you should be doing. The only issue is people think, well, I can't afford a brand watch. I can't afford a Sprout Social. We haven't got the budget to actually have an automated tool that can do this for us. Sorry, TikTok again. A free tool, easy. If you're not doing your kind of Google keyword research as it is, so if you haven't got Google Analytics set up for your website, do that, because that will provide you with the keyword data, so you can see the search terms that people are finding you, and that's again a free tool, so make sure you do that after this. Very similar premise with TikTok Creative Center. Remember that exact phrase, because that is essentially Google keyword research, but within TikTok. And just so you know, I think recently Google and TikTok are now partnering on their search console and keyword data, because Google understands that TikTok is going to be the new search engine, so they want to get involved in what TikTok are doing. So there'll be much more, it'll be double the data than what I'm even showing you here today. So what can you do with this? You can find out the keywords, for example, in the UK, and if you are based internationally, you can change your regions, you can put your industry in there, you can even put an objective, you can put the certain keyword and the duration, and it will show you the certain keywords that people are either using or talking about in their content on TikTok across the country. And just like social listening, if you have seen an example, they do provide a word cloud like this, and it will show you the different trends and the different words that are being searched about. What I did here was put UK, any industry, any objective, last 120 days, and I wanted to see it on click-through rate because that's one of my key KPIs for whatever campaign I'm running. And here are the cloud words that say, right, these are all the top words that are being searched for on TikTok. All right, okay, cool, interesting. What can we do here? What I like to call is like TikTok hijacking. So what keywords could potentially resonate to help us boost our brand awareness that we can kind of jump on that might not necessarily directly correlate to what we're doing, if that makes sense. So plumber found I might be Brita Filters, for example. And I can think, right, we're Brita Filters, we want to sell our products, we want to reach a market on TikTok. Where can we kind of hijack where all the trending noise is happening? We'll use plumber found. In the hashtag, in the comments, embedded in the video somewhere, we're going to use that. So for this example, I've gone for buy now, pay later, because I currently work for a fintech, so it quite interests me. And then that will appear at the bottom. I'll click through to that. And then it will show me this window, and it will show me all the content that is using that exact phrase. Unlike Google, where it just says, these people came from here, and they put this in Google, this shows you the content that anyone is creating using that keyword. So if we went back here and said, right, I want any of these keywords, maps, gaming chairs, obviously make it relevant to you, you put your own keyword in, it will then show you any of the content in any region that uses that exact keyword. Again, this tool is free. So even if you don't use TikTok, it will help you inform your teams, it help inform your marketing to create better curated content that you potentially know what your audience are talking about. So for this example, and what you can see here, I've put most used as, it's the most common way in which a keyword is used in a video, which can be through voiceover or text overlay. So text overlay means subtitles, means the title video, the title of the video overlaid. So that's like any copy, essentially, that's on the video. And you could do that within the app, or you've done that in Canva, or you've done that elsewhere. It will pick that up. That's how clever it is to then kind of rank it for you. And then all of a sudden, you can just see and help you kind of, you can watch the videos and understand, well, these are what our consumers are watching, and based on these keywords, whatever that keyword is. And then you can even see the click-through rate, which is insane. Because so imagine if you have a competitor, and if they're on TikTok, great. You can then see which content is driving the most click-throughs and think, well, okay, they're doing that. How can we do that, make it better? How can we make better, more creative content based on these metrics? And again, you can change that. You can change click-through rate to, like we were saying, popularity change, click-view rate as well, which is quite important for videos. So have a play around with that. And I'm sure you'll get some really good tangible data that you'll be able to use to help you kind of inform your marketing. I'll see you next year. So what can we do once we've understood everything on TikTok? So you can understand consumer pain points, the trends, the keywords, and then hopefully based on all that data, you can create content that focuses on providing the solutions. And then ideally you want to identify the trends to seize the opportunity within new feeds. And then once you've done all that, the end goal is personalization, which is going to be big on social media over the next couple of years based on the data that we know and have. Right, I've got 5 minutes, so I'm going to run through this, but not a lot to do. Customer journey. So the third kind of degree, if you like, that I talked about at the beginning, an integrated experience across all online touchpoints. And ideally what you want to do, like I said with the the social commerce example, is how do we create a frictionless experience that fosters trust? I've borrowed a couple of graphics here, and this just shows you a generic example of how many potential online and offline touchpoints any person could have. And when I think about it, and I think maybe, let's take McDonald's as an example, you see a TV ad, you might hear the jingle on the radio, you see a billboard at the bus stop, you'll see a push notification if you've got the app, and then eventually, you get the burger. Now, the only thing I won't talk about today is acquisition. Is how do you kind of, prove that your, word of mouth, that sale came from word of mouth. There are definitely tools you can do, like social code, dedicated landing page, etc., but that's a whole nother topic, but something you should still have at front of mind. But these are all the different, you have your awareness, your sales funnel going through the middle, awareness, consideration, purchase, retention, and these are all the different touch points. And when you go further, if you're in store and online, that expands even more. So look at all the different touch points. The one constant on these two diagrams, the one before, is social media. So social media runs throughout the whole journey of a consumer. It almost has its own funnel that sits within a wider sales funnel. And also don't forget post-purchase and loyalty, okay, community building. So once someone has bought a product, don't forget about them. They're your most important, valuable advocates. So make sure they're also involved with whatever you do, whether that's Facebook groups dedicated just for customers or whatever it is, just make sure you don't forget about them. So journey mapping, what is it? Why is it important? If you don't have a journey map, which essentially means customer A, B, and C, this is their journey, this is what they do. For example, if we go back here, what does that journey look like for one of my consumers? If you don't have that mapped out, another action, get a big whiteboard, get your team together and say, right, this is John, this is Age, this is our target customer. What does their journey look like to transaction or to inquiry? Map it all out, essentially kind of like this. What are their touch points? So you fully know that journey. The more you know about this journey, the more you can personalize it and then create content. Don't create content first without knowing this, because you don't know where they're coming from. You don't know what that journey looks like for them. You're doing it blind because you don't know enough about your consumers. So another action for you guys. Should be writing this down. I can't really go through this in detail. Maybe take a picture, and it's quite generic. And there's a lot of things I haven't included. But you've got your funnel at the top, awareness, consideration, decision, post-purchase. Your touch points, and these are all kind of, again, generic, and they will be more catered based on your own circumstances. The pain points, so what are their pain points during that journey? And then your strategy, what are the kind of things that we can do to alleviate the pain points that we've identified through social listening, understanding the journey, community feedback, whatever it is. And that will hopefully then help you achieve that journey map, that journey planner, and then break down into your personas. Why is that important? Well, because you want your messaging to be consistent. You want your marketing to be targeted. Like I was saying, personalization is going to be massive with all the data that we're getting and how we're filtering it down into quality data. You want to optimize user experience. Don't make it difficult for me to buy something from you. If I'm going to buy from you, I want it to be as seamless as possible. Personalization. I've said it so many times already throughout this presentation, but it really is a big topic for anyone working in kind of social media, data, and digital online. And second, data-driven decision-making. So analyze the touch points. Data is king or key. And use that data to inform your teams, to inform your content, and build out a much more cross-channel strategy that is personalized to your consumers. Because even every one of you guys have a different journey here, and you're all different, okay? Your mannerisms, your personality, your digital usage is going to be, everyone here is going to be unique to you. How are you attacking that as a company and as a brand? If you can't answer that, you need some work to do. Thank you. I'm on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, happy to take them on board. That is my time. No time for questions, I don't think. So yeah, please send me a message. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was useful.